Okay, so we're back looking at lamps and lighting in Blender, and I've got this scene that we did for class homework last week. It's just a simple Cezanne, and in this scene I have a single point lamp. Now last week we went through the properties of a point lamp, and so we should have a fairly good idea of how it works. So this week I'm going to go through the other lamp types, and the next on the list is a sun lamp. So I'm just going to change this point lamp to a sun lamp, and you can see it's depicted differently. Around the lamp we kind of got these like radiating rays, I suppose, and this dotted line has to do direction, and you'll see this on other types of lamps as well. But anyway, back to sun lamp. Okay, so how does a sun lamp differ from a point lamp? Basically it works the same way. It distributes light evenly all the way around the lamp, radiating out from the lamp, but it's a bit different from a point lamp, and you got to think in terms of like the real world. You know, the sun is something, I don't know, 190 odd million kilometers away. So when we're that far away from it on Earth, there is no discernible fall off. We're down at the bottom of that inverse square curve. Okay, so we can see we've got no fall off here on a sun lamp. Okay, so what that means is it doesn't really matter where in the scene you place your sun lamp. You know, so if we were to render this, we can see how we got, you know, the sun is high, we got these speculars on the top of everything, and you know, very dark shadows underneath. Okay, but if I was to grab this lamp and put it down over here somewhere, say, and we render it again, we can see there's absolutely no difference. So it doesn't actually matter where you place the sun lamp in a scene. It's got what we call a global illumination. Okay, right, so let's bring this lamp back up somewhere. Now, with most, if not all, lamps, apart from the point lamp, if I was to rotate this, let's go into an orthographic view. If I was to rotate this lamp along an axis, in this case the y-axis, okay, it's kind of hard to see on the screen, I guess, but you've got this vertical line that extends straight down, and then we've got this direction line. Okay, and we'll see this on other lamps as well, such as a spot lamp, and there's a vertical line. Hemi and area, they all have it apart from the point lamp. The point lamp only has the vertical line. Okay, now the reason for this vertical line is so that when we're working in a 3D kind of view, we've got an idea of where on the grid that the lamp is placed. Without this line, we'd have no clue if this lamp was above this point or on this point or whatever. So that's the reason for the vertical line that's always there. Now the dotted broken line shows the direction of a lamp, but we've already said with sun lamp it doesn't matter where in the scene it is. Okay, it will cast lamp, but what the direction does affect is the shadows. So for example, if I was to render this here, it would tell me that the shadow on Cezanne should be around this right hand side, okay, because that's the direction that the shadow is being cast on the lamp, even though the lamp is on the right hand side. So let's do a quick render, and the shadows are indeed around the right hand side. It's got very much darker there. However, if I was to rotate that to the left, we should see that change to the shadows being on the left and the highlights being on the right. So let's do a quick render there, and you can see that has. Okay, now that lamp was very close, and I said lamp doesn't normally make a difference, but let me just kind of grab this up here and have another look at a render on that. Yep, that makes no difference. Let me rotate on the Y back so it's facing straight down, and here we go. This was the one that's thrown really off. Let's bring this down. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. Let's go to 0. And there we can see we've got more global illumination again. Now, like I said, that direction, so if I was to turn that direction to face upwards, I would expect the top to be dark and these underlights, or these underneath areas, to be lit. So let's just try that out. Okay, so let me, oops, what did I do there? I moved everything to layer 5? No, I selected layer 5. Right, let me rotate this upwards and do a render, and there you can see it's as I expected. Okay, so let's kind of reset this back to a normalish kind of view. That's looking better. Alright, so when we look at the properties of the lamp, we can again change to the lamp color, and if you were trying to simulate a sunlight, you'd want a more kind of orangey red color. Okay, but anyway, you can increase or decrease the energy of the lamp. You can have it cast negative light, so you can see it's casting no light, but we've no other light detail to pick up the highlights here, but it's casting just shadow. This layer only, speckle and diffuse, same as before. Okay, we do have more settings here for sky and atmosphere, and this really only comes into play when you're doing renders rather than baking textures, so it's kind of outside the scope of what we're doing. But just quickly, if I was to check sky, you can see I've got the sky texture. Now if I was to do a render on this, it's kind of rendering sky texture around. I mean, it might be great for product shots or something like that, but from a modeling and baking textures point of view, hasn't really got much use. Turbidity is kind of like the haze on the sky, so if I was to turn it up to up a bit anyway, kind of hard to see there, but the sky does get a bit hazy. It's easier to see on this one, whereas if I reset this to 2. Okay, horizon brightness and spread of the horizon, you can see it causes a lot of different things, but like I say, sky and atmosphere really does not affect our texture baking. It's just the background on the render that we do, and we can have it cast no shadow and ray shadow as before, but we're not going to see that without a plane underneath, so let's just add a plane. Shift A, add a mesh plane, scale this up, and move it down. Now we see this plane, and if we do a render here, so we've got this harsh shadow. Now sunlight always will produce a very hard shadow on nearby objects, same as bright sunlight does in the real world. No shadow, F12, and you see the no shadow is casting no shadow on the plane. Okay, so that basically is sunlight, and when we come back we will have a look at the spot lamp or spotlight.